All right, my beautiful friends, another lovely post-market wrap-up. Yeah, the whiteboard is back. I'm not sure who that is. I know it might bear resemblance to someone, but I didn't mean that. Just some thing over there spying on me. All right, anyway, look, post-market wrap-up again on this Friday, May 24, 2019. Let's talk about what happened today and a bunch of things. Let's start off with this market. So pretty straightforward. We know what happened this morning. President Trump said he expected a quick resolution with China with regard to the trade war. Although it's not a trade war anymore. I think it's back to being a spat. I'm not sure. Very confusing. That was enough to initially get a nice knee-jerk higher out of the market. Then all of a sudden, we reversed almost to the flat line. Then back higher again. Dow finished up about 97 points. Okay, whatever. What I want to do here with you is I want to cover a few things I think you're going to find interesting. So I don't remember who did this earlier. There was an article written, I'm not even sure what it was. It might have been Market Watch, where it was kind of covering how we might be looking at the opening salvos of yet another Cold War. The last one lasted 45 years, so maybe that's the quick resolution. I mean, 45 years, let's think about this. In the grand scheme of time, is nothing. It's a fraction. So maybe, and I'm just throwing this out here, when President Trump means a quick resolution, maybe he means 45 years. Because it does appear that we are moving into a new Cold War. We did win the last one, but it took us 45 years. Pretty long. Anyway. What do you think? With that said, I want to cover a few other things with you. And I'm just going to read some stuff to you. It's kind of crazy. So JP Morgan here absolutely slashed their GDP forecast moving forward to 1%. This should not be a surprise to anyone with the round after round. We haven't had not one round of good economic news. Actually, I can't even remember one. Again, but the fake numbers are thrown at you. You know, look here, don't look here. 1% does not sound like a booming economy to me. Now, we got this here. This is yet another sign that things are just abysmal here in the United States. And understand, the more abysmal things are, like the 1% from JP Morgan, their GDP forecast, and what I'm just going to tell you now, these are bullish for the stock market. Bullish. I know how insane that sounds, but it's true. What do we know? It always comes down to what we know. President Trump has been yelling from rooftops for a very long time that he wants a rate cut. He needs the Fed to back him up, period. The Fed has been doing a pretty good job of it. That's the truth. They've been propping this all up. They have their own trading desk. They're buying stocks. Mnuchin went directly to Wall Street, his 6 banks, telling them to buy the market. That's exactly what they've been doing. Okay, no doubt about it. But you're watching what's happening to the yield curve. There's no curve. The yield curve is essentially half of it's inverted, and the long end is coming down. So here's another round of abysmal economic news, which is bullish for the stock market. Durable goods orders literally came to a halt in April, and this is how this particular person writes it up, as business investment almost dries up. Well, you remember that the repatriated cash, no questions asked. Thank you, President Trump. It did boost the stock market. Helped me out, too. I did make some money off of it. I became richer. Again, I will give credit where credit's due. Thank you, President Trump. But at the same time, that repatriated cash did go into buying shares of stock back. It did not go into business investment, hiring people, and we all knew this. I mean, I screamed from rooftops. I explained to all of you at the time this is what would happen. And again, you all probably saw some of the comments. Greg, you're wrong. You don't know President Trump. He'll make sure that businesses invest in themselves and hire people. I'm allowed to make that face at you. If you were one of those, let's see who has the guts to admit they were wrong. Let's see if I get one comment. No, I'll get the trolls, but that's okay because they can't handle it. They got to go run. Give their safe space. That's okay. That's okay. Go take care of yourself over there. Cuddle up. Whatever you got to do. Maybe have a little group session, therapy. Anyway, so pretty self-explanatory. Abysmal economic news on that front. And we also found this out too. And this was my bad. I want to correct this here. It was being reported. Well, let's go back. Last week, we were sending no troops to the Middle East. None. That was right out of the president's mouth. Well, again, I gave him credit. I said maybe he misspoke. Maybe he got caught off guard. Because obviously he knew a week ago that we were going to. Now, I had said initially it looked like 10,000 troops. Well, it's only 1,500 from the president's own mouth here earlier in the day. So, I've already heard rumors that this number is grossly misstated to the downside by about 10x. I have no way to prove that, but I do have a source that told me that. We'll see. Again, I have no way to prove it, but at least we know we're sending 1,500 troops over there from zero. That's a pretty big, from 0 to 1,500. That's quite a lot. Quite a lot in my opinion. How about you? Now, let's see here. You know, I want to clarify something here. And actually, before I get there, I want you to stick around for that because I'm going to take a lot of heat for it, and I don't give a damn. So just stick around. So here's an article here that talks about how nearly 25% of American citizens are now going into debt just to pay their regular bills and even buy food. Now, we have known about this for quite a while. This should not be news. I've been explaining to you all for a long time. This is what's going on. Consumer debt, record high. Personal debt, record high. This is why you see, you know, it's not just the Amazon effect here. Why stores are closing all over the place. People are they're borrowing just to make ends meet. The middle class, there is no middle class. The middle class is gone. The people are living on debt and credit. Doesn't sound like a booming economy to me either. I can't wait for that tweet. That's coming. But that's a shame. And we also found out while that's going on, and this is no surprise to you because I've explained this to you since time immemorial. Here, this is their words, not mine. The richest, this is according to the survey here, the richest 10% of households here in America now represent 70% of the country's wealth, while there are people borrowing just to make ends meet. This is the Trump effect. Sure, you know, push cash into that stock market. Make the middle class, or what's left of it, subsidize the stock market. Again, it could be any asshole, pardon my French, sitting in that White House. Just happens to be him, and under his watch, this is happening, okay? Well, anyway. Now, this is what I want to talk about real quick. Because it's becoming so stupid that I have to laugh every time I hear this. So we understand that we've been hearing about the deep state for quite a while. The deep state, deep state, the deep state. Now what the deep state has become is an excuse for failure. An absolute excuse for failure. Let's just talk about a couple of things here. Is it the deep state's fault why Mexico is not paying for the wall? Is it the deep state's fault why we're now sending troops over to the Middle East? Is it the deep state's fault that China is not paying the tariffs? We could go on and on with this. So the deep state is an excuse for failure. And anybody who's pushing that narrative needs to rethink what they're pushing on people, because it's a complete falsehood. All right? Deep state, the military-industrial complex has been around since time immemorial. The deep state invention is an excuse for failure. Okay? If you don't like it, if it bothers you, unsubscribe, please. It would really help me out too. All right, with that said, look, it's Friday. Now that I got that off my chest, let's put this all behind us. All right? And I'm going to leave you off with what I always say. However, Monday, this market is closed. So no As a matter of fact, I'm going to take the entire weekend off. I'm not even going to do a markets or look ahead segment. I need a few down days. I'm going to take it. And again, with that said, this guy loves you. I really do. So love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. That's it. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. And happy Memorial Day to all of you, seriously. That served, that are serving. Anyway, I'll see you Tuesday morning. That is a wrap.